I'm not too sure what happened, to be honest. As you can probably guess, well, my PC didn't crash. It froze, and then everything was fine. Not really. It was sort of like a little bit weird. And then I figured I'll go try relaunch it, I guess, before. Because my OBS just poofed, essentially. Then I figured, oh, I'll just relaunch it. And then I'll reopen up OBS. Tried relaunching it, no progress. Seemed to close my task manager each time I had task manager open, so... Not too sure. And then I just figured I'll just restart my PC. Or play something else and I'll figure out the full... Unfortunate. I haven't played in ages though. Yeah, that was a bit of a frustrating situation. This one, however, does leak my stuff. One of the most frustrating things has been these. I was getting Dante, and I was trying to get some Entrati, like landforms, or whatever they're called. One of the most frustrating things to try, I guess, for. That was so frustrating for me. The whole grind and everything. I have a resource booster which I probably want to make the most of. I don't really want to grind any more characters or anything like that. Because I'm staying back at work and I don't have the time.
Now you might be wondering if I'm holding later.
I could do some more Hex things. Or I could do some grinding. Resources. I'll do a little bit of maybe Cora. I still don't think she's very survivable. Maybe some Hex stuff.
I claim this territory in the name of yours truly.
I can't be asked. Oh, we've almost got burrows here.
Too easy. Unexpected.
How do we do this though? Can we swap characters? Been enjoying Urali. Not Urali, Uriel. Oh, I was gonna switch up how you get Caravello or something. I saw them and they look kind of... I believe they're a melee frame. Overguard. I'm somebody from the Dormer zone. But Erebos. Oh, yuck. Oh, I know what I could... We'll do this, though. I still know how I'm versing. I just don't remember this guy's... We want Guy. Guy is actually quite fun. I quite enjoy. I haven't gotten an Orokin from this for so long.
The assassination target is nearby. Seek and destroy.
I mean, her thing is just keeping things up, which might, now that I think about it, be a bit
General
of
Sargus Ruck has become
pressing
a
a
problem
boss on
for
this
our
other
artifact
guys.
recovery efforts.
Ooh.
Several of our dig sites in this sector
Guys,
have been attacked and annexed by Ruck and his fleet. Take Ruck out.
Why am I so slow? Oh, this is gonna be atrocious. Oh, why are we like this? I swapped weapons and I didn't properly swap, so I got stuck with fucking hate when that happened. Acting a little weird right now.
You are surrounded by Grineer Marines.
Got that top there. This is the one time when the guy is a bit of a pain. But I have to build her up. Come on.
Is nearby. Be
What
warned,
is
he a
happening?
formidable adversary with an almost inhuman hatred for all
I'm
that is
so
not
confused. Is there something I'm unaware of? Is there fucking... I keep just randomly getting real slow, and last I checked the Noxes, they don't shoot ice. I don't know who's the fuck shooting cold. Need to build up my meter. And build up my meter, we're fine. But something annoying. Some of these enemy spawns are just
Stay
atrocious.
focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
I can foresee this going fine.
Submit for mercy.
Like there's like no enemies. Lost them. Where I'm going. God. See, so now I gotta do the stupid thing. I'm stuck. You dipshit. My thing's gonna run out easy. Actually annoying, I regret to. He's good, but fuck me. Sometimes tries to make it. There's like no enemies spawning. I get locked in. You can kill them fast enough. It's that bad. It's this shield. No fucking enemies. Oh. Roll again.
Ruck will be adorning only the most impressive in Grineer body modifications. You will need to stay one step ahead of him.
I feel like she's almost see like now there's like no enemies. Very annoying. I hate having to go out of my way just to find them. How did I find a 60-minute crit boost? What? Never seen that before. Can't see. Oh, see, like that. Armor. Huh?
Target acquired. Take them down.
Ooh, shit. What the? Oh. Why did like insta fucking add me back? That's annoying. I think it's smart.
Just another Clovis machine to me.
Oh, Warframe. Oh, yeah. Everything starts crashing. Warframe's fucking weird. I don't. I was shooting the wrong. I don't understand. Oh, what the fuck? I don't understand what I'm missing here. I believe it's some sort of shield glowing, but like no damage to him. I'm sick of like the plan is can't see. That, like, we the fuck? Why are no enemies spawning?
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit.
What are you doing
approaching.
here, buddy? Picking a sniper. Really get what we're doing with this guy. kind of bewildering me. What is this?
Heads up, a Grineer assault team is headed your way.
I'm so confused. How are we meant to do any sort of damage here? Like track to it. It's not like this weapon's bad. It's a good weapon, but... Okay, I'm gonna abort this. Oh, but... this game can be the most infuriating thing in the world. I lose everything as well from this. I don't really get what I should be doing here. Guy's obviously a bad fucking pack. My Bolt, unfortunately, is too squishy. Yeah.
Knock, knock.
Now, who would
I really
be
need to
knocking
fish.
all the way out here? Operator, I don't think you should answer that.
Yo, Nix, how's it going? This isn't even 4 Eidolons. I'm trying to figure out how to verse some stupid boss in it, because I haven't got a natural build for my Vault in general. I have some orb build from a while ago, so I'm trying to do some Steel Path stuff, and I'm not getting survivable. I was playing Gaia, but managing my 3 and my 4 when no fucking enemies were spawning was essentially impossible. See if I rent this front. It is. How you doing, Nix? Hear about Equilibrium because I'm not planning on killing anybody else. Maybe? The overframe. Is that the one? I don't know about you, I need to ask. Do you have the same issue? Do you know the Warframe forums? No. Warframe. Not the forums, the fandom. Do you know the fandom? Oh, is it? I don't know anything. Underframe. To be honest, I don't recall this being a thing even when I was there, so these must be. A little slow, there we go. Done. I don't want to go 5 format though. I'm not a fan. I don't even know what... Dude, I come into this game after like fucking not playing for 5 years, and I've got no clue what half the shit is. I've only just started to figure out things. Like, I don't even know what an Archon shard is. I don't know how to get it. There's so much weird stuff that's come in. Yeah. I gotta be honest, the explanations of things has been kind of terrible. I gotta be honest. They added a bunch of new things, but if you're not keeping up to it, I've got no clue. Yeah. So, I've finished every main quest. I just finished grinding that old piece. Shit. So we got a heap of like max rank stuff now, which is pretty good. So I'll be selling a bunch when it all goes up in value again. But that'll be good. The grind will hopefully be worth it. But yeah, I've come back and I've been playing it for maybe a couple of weeks now. Probably nearing a month, and so much of it just makes no sense. Like, is like a little bit poorly explained. They added like something called Tennokai, but I haven't found a single explanation on what Tennokai actually is. I added it to one weapon and it added some sword onto the weapon. I'm still missing these ones. I haven't done this one, Deal Breaker. I think this is important for something. I recall there was something and it required me to finish this. I didn't. There's a chance to get a free heavy attack without losing it. Okay. That's interesting. They added the chem system, which is interesting. That stuff was fine. I gotta be honest, I don't know if it was because I was kind of stressed finishing all the missions, because the old piece was like, you had to do so many fucking missions to get it. Like, there was so much. And everything was like, oh, it's like, to do this, you gotta get this, you gotta do this mission. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll go do that mission. So I gotta start that mission. Oh, but you have to have done this mission. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, I'll go do that mission. Oh, but you have to have started this mission. I ended up having to finish like 5 main story missions just to get access to being able to start the stupid old piece. It was so frustrating. I had to like do the teacher, which I guess was kind of good. Then I had to do... What is it in order? I had to do some Duviri Paradox, I think I had to do. No, I don't think I had to do Duviri actually, I think that's a lie. I had to do, obviously, Old Peace. You had to do Whispers in the Walls. I had to do the Lotus Eaters. I had to do the Angels of Zariman. I had to do the New War. I don't think I had to do Duviri there. Okay, but it's insane buff to melee-based builds, but there's different mods to enable it as well. Yeah, I've only got one of them actually, just the base thing. As a coming back player, I'll tell you. I didn't really like Duviri, and I still don't like it. Okay, actually, this sums up everything since I've come back, actually. Because every mission, I think every mission prior to me coming back was fine. But since I've come back, I've noticed everything, I think, since then has been all based around operators. And I gotta be honest, I hate it. The only mission, the Jade Shadows was pretty good, actually. That was interesting. But I think every one of these I didn't like outside of the Hex. I believe. It's like they were super just forcing you down a path that I just found incredibly boring. I don't like having to use my operator. Like, that being like the only method of doing things. Because I feel like the operators is like everything. Yeah. So I think it's like an interesting story, although I think a lot of it sort of just whooshed over my head, to be honest. Going through the stories, I just couldn't understand anything that was going on, to be honest. I don't know if it's because you had to do the missions very close to each other, like the prior ones. I think I'd just forgotten, to be honest, most of the stuff prior. But yeah. But some of that was it was losing me a little bit. But no, I'm just not a fan of playing the operators. Yeah. Exactly. There is a lot of interesting stuff that's coming out of that, though. I think it's interesting, but for me, I just really mega dislike the gameplay of the operator, because if you play the operator, and it's not necessarily the operator's fault, it's the just inherently how the operator is designed. The operator is inherently slower, weaker, does a heap less damage. I mean, to be honest, I have a pretty good amp. It used to be good, but apparently it's not as good anymore. I have, I think, 343 or something. Or something like that. But now, something 77 seems to be the best. But anyway. Yeah, so you just stuck with a... Yeah. They do, but it takes so long to max it. It takes so long to do it, to get it all primed, essentially, or whatever you want to call it. Up the music here. Let's see. My volts like, but yeah, I mean, I'll give you a rundown though. I mean, fucking massive bobo. Yeah. That's another thing. Like, there's so much stuff that just isn't explained anywhere, and I don't know if it's because I've like, obviously I've just missed the explanations in other gameplay and stuff, but stuff like Overguard. You come in, even doing like the teacher quest, Overguard's never explained. Is there a weakness to Overguard? Is there a, is there something that can like pass through Overguard? Like, what would be like the meta way of bypassing an enemy's Overguard? Because now half the fucking thing, so it's weak to magnet. Okay. Because that's not explained anywhere. Or at least it might be explained if I search up explicitly magnetic damage, but at that point, if I'm having to search it up, then that's probably a poor explanation, right? Stuff like that. They added so much new stuff. The whole Eximus units have been a bit confusing to me. Obviously, Eximus units did exist prior, but they overhauled them. You hover over there. That's how you, yeah. Then, like, what's the difference then, therefore, of course, between Overguard and Shield? Stuff like that. I'm guessing Overguard just doesn't regenerate compared to Shields, but then why add Overguard instead of, I don't know. There's stuff like this where it's just sort of like, why was this added? Baruch wasn't new, but Baruch Prime was new, and I didn't have Baruch prior. Yeah, the block CC. Yeah, it's annoying. So I got Baruch. Really enjoyed Baruch actually. Baruch's really good. I didn't realize how good he was. It's kind of like, some people disagree, but I find him to be a better Excalibur. But they kind of have their own pros and cons. I was gone, it's so funny, so I was gone so long that there are primes of frames that inherently just didn't even exist when I stopped playing. It's crazy, it's a weird thought, but it sort of makes sense. So Caliban never existed, but now he exists and has a prime, so it's got the prime. I'm not bothering to grind some of these warframes. I find a lot of... Oh, okay. I was telling somebody else, ignore my Octavia music in the background. I was gone so... I was telling somebody, I can't remember who. I think I was telling Lack or Emma. I'm still in contact with them. And... I think I was just mentioning... I think the most annoying thing about Warframes at the moment, and I think this was starting to happen when I was leaving, but every non-prime Warframe is an absolute pain to grind for, because all of them are locked behind some stupid like specific mission or mission type, and all the aspects to build it is also locked behind that specific mission type. It's like, I was trying to grind, for example, Uriel. It was a pain enough to get the parts. It's been a thing for years. It has, but I don't recall it ever being... Like, if I was building, you know, half these things, like Frost, like Grendel was fine, Hildren, at least they require, you know, your Argon Crystal. Parts took you like 5 minutes. It took me forever, but you were probably grinding the missions for it, right? Like, I was doing, for example, the last couple of days, I've been grinding Dante, and I needed some, like, Entrati Langthorn or whatever it's called, right? In order to get that, you had to run explicitly, essentially, like this one mission, essentially, and you'd have to hope that it drops from, Yeah, so I did that. But the components to build Uriel, that's where the frustration comes from, right? So getting Uriel himself, not bad. But Uriel, do I have any other parts? No, I don't have any other parts. But to get the parts to build Uriel is a pain, and that's where everything's become a bit of a frustration of mine. So the parts for Dante, right? Like, this... Just say Dante chassis. You need Entrati Langthorn, right? This is such a pain. I killed... So they supposedly dropped from the stupid rogue void regs, right? I killed probably about 15 of them in a row without getting a single drop. The rogue ones, not from the disruption missions. And then you need Entrati Obels. Fuck me. It took me so long to grind this. And I was grinding... Yeah. The Parida Rebellion. Which, either way, yeah. But even then, like, Parida... I was grinding that... Yeah. I've only gotten the Guzzlers to drop it once. I've only ever gotten it to drop it once. That's my thing. I just must have shit luck. And that's the thing. Like, I don't mind having shit luck if you can get them in any mission type. Or, like, you know, it's the same thing of, like, StarChat, where it's, like, Corpus missions drop the Corpus, you know, drops. Grineer missions drop the Grineer things. If I'm stuck playing, like, a specific game mode or, like, the same fucking thing, like, there's, like, the Parida Rebellion, right? It's fun, like, the first 5 missions. 10 missions, okay, it's sort of losing me. I had run so many Parita Rebellion missions. The shit is just slogging. You know what I mean? And then bear in mind, if you haven't played, like if you're a new player, bear in mind, if Parita Rebellion's the new thing and that's the only thing that you're going to be running, that's plenty fine. If you are starting out as a new player now, if I'm trying to get it, I need to do so like for Dante, I gotta run the Entrades things. I gotta do Parita for Uriel. If I want to do Erexia, I have to do the Erexia missions part of Duviri. If I want there was a character that I was wanting and I needed something from the no, never mind, I was thinking of something else actually. But you sort of see what I mean, like every Warframe is tied to a specific to a specific, like, essentially hyper-specific mission, and then the resources to build it is tied to that hyper-specific mission. And if you are coming in as a new player, so anybody that's starting out that isn't sort of up to date, right? You have a trillion different things. So it's not like oh, well, I'll grind up my way through the star chart and I'll have, you know, blah blah amount of Orokin crystal, Orokin cells. I'll have a thing. I don't really think having to run completely different things for different frames is inherently a bad thing. That makes it exciting to get them, rather than having everything already. It's not really that. That's not really what I mean. It's the fact of the matter of there's. It's very overwhelming having a trillion different things that is required of you. Think of it similar to, let's say you're playing like one of those like better, I don't really play, but like some of those like Call of Duty games. You know, it used to be, for example, you play the game, you kill people, you get experience, and then you get new guns and shit like that. And then they started implementing, oh, well, if you want to get this scope on this weapon, you have to level up this weapon. And then to level up that weapon and unlock that thing, you have to level up this other weapon. It's that sort of thing of it's now, they're adding a bunch of extra fluff just to be able to do what I wanted to do. So like, if I want to get this thing, I have to do this quest, which unlocks this thing, which means that I can finally unlock this next thing, which will allow me the opportunity to even attempt to do this other thing, which will allow me to even get into the system. It's like a very, you know what I mean? Then you're having to rely on your lucky RNG, and then if I'm spending fucking who knows how many hours grinding for that one thing, it always just ends up being a bit of a pain. Sort of like Void Rigs, if you remember Void Rigs when those Frost came out. Those were an absolute pain to grind for. I don't feel it's that bad with Warframe, to be honest. You know, not pretty much everything required for the farm locations by the quests either way. You do, but it's a bit of a slog having to go through and have not everything tied together. I enjoyed it when everything was sort of tied to everything. Like, everything was in conjunction to everything. Now, if I want to get one thing, I have to do, like, I have to hyper-focus. And so if it's a gameplay style that you don't enjoy, you're either spending 300 plat, or you're saying bye-bye to about 30 hours of gameplay, because RNG be like that. I mean, and maybe that's something you enjoy. I enjoyed it more so when it was, I could just play the game, and maybe I grind to get the drops on the specific aspects. But then once I had the different assets, the only thing that I was really having to grind for would be the Argon crystals, because those run out of, you know what I mean, like you have to, those only last 48 hours, right? So outside of them, you know, you're kind of fine. The reason we have petty currency nowadays. Petty currency? I I don't think I've seen pity currency for anything I'm running, but maybe I don't know what you're referring to. Oh, I was gonna run a different weapon. Get a Wraith. I don't have Citrine or anything like that. I've actually never been to Citrine, so I don't know anything about that.
Behold, Orokin royalty reduced to this. Next time, come with a joke prepared, will you? Or
Because
at
you've only
least
got
a
you've got
sweet.
these. If this is what you mean by pity, the Mel. Like once again, I don't mind grinding the blueprints and stuff like that. It's like the adherent amount of like Ignova discs I gotta grind for, in the Leldavi and the Cerberus. Like to be honest, yeah. These are fine. Like especially because Uriel's super easy. You only have to grind like the last thing. That wasn't hard for me to grind. There is no easy way of getting the Ignova discs or the Cerberus, and the only way to do it is having to do the Predator Rebellion. That's the part where I'm just like,
Have you
a bit
ever
of a pain.
wondered
So,
for whom
much
are
about it.
these
I had a
intended?
resource to see,
To
yeah.
commemorate our victories for ourselves, or
Really?
for others? Assigned to those who wander near,
You must have got on some
Danger?
major RNG as well. Yeah.
for I have killed.
I would say Predator Rebellion. Okay, let's put it this way. I have put in I've put in about. I would say what is my. So I've got 57. At one point I hit 75. So we'll say I got maybe about in the last month I'd probably have about 100-ish hours. And of that 100-ish hours in the last month, I've grinded almost all of that was the Predator Rebellion because I needed to do the stupid I was trying to get as many of those arcanes because I wasn't gonna miss it.
I wonder
And of
if
that,
I had such
I did not
medallions from the past.
Have
If I would
enough
not have
parts
so
for
easily
Uriel
forgotten so much of
after
it
grinding
when
all those
Entrati
fucking Predator. I would have done
rammed the
at
serum
least.
into my throat.
Oh, I did a lot of Predators. I don't have a pet with a resource booster either, though. So I would have probably, I definitely would have put, I can tell you now, I've definitely put over probably 50 hours into grinding for the fucking Uriel shit. Not explicitly for Uriel, it was for the Predator.
Disappointing.
But
Don't
within
leave
that,
with them.
you can get Uriel, right?
Actually go mad.
I was trying to get
Avez-vous besoin de quelque
the
chose?
stuff and I got this, which this was also painful because every single one of them you only get, or I was only getting about a drop of about 10 of each. So you're essentially having to do 10 for the, the Lycoric bridge. Now you do get 75, I think, of each the first time round, just by doing the old piece. But even then, fuck me, you got 3 different
You know
missions.
your own path.
And they're all essentially the same thing. It was such a good grind. I would not go for anything more than that, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. Probably the better way of doing it. So, like, to me, that gets a little bit sloggy. I don't mind grinding the same mission if it's like a mission that I enjoy, but holy, if it's a mission that I inherently don't enjoy but it's like a requirement for me to complete it, like that the Predator Rebellion was getting so annoying for me because it's like a 12-minute mission. It just takes so long. And that's 12 minutes just to get like 10, for example, of those stupid that currency. And then you need 150 of each. like mathing out how much you actually need. And then bear in mind, that was only for like one thing. Now if I need to get other frames, like Dante for example, trying to get those Landthorn drops, I would have spent a ridiculous amount of time as well. Just for the Landthorns. Like 20 to 22. Really? I wasn't running the Steel Path version. Part of it. Part of that is because I'm also like mega under. I gotta be honest. I've been having to figure out what's good. So because all the metas have changed, of course. So everybody's on to. I think this might have been here when I left. The I see though. I think the Galvanized was there when I left. I don't think so. I can't think it was. I stopped playing maybe the start of 2021. Like the start. I'm talking, I think, January, February 2021 when I stopped. It got increased even more after they made Prime Vanguards that spawned during the mission. Prime Vanguards? I don't think I ever saw a single one of those. I didn't know as I used it. That's fair. Not even the meta. I still need to figure out how you even get those Archon shards actually. Up. How to get Archon shards? Because I haven't figured it out. But everybody, you know, you watch a video and it's like I'm trying to figure out how the Warframe even plays. Everyone's like, here's my Archon shards. I'm like, what the fuck even is an Archon shard? Yes, where do you get them? From Archon hunts. Oh, so you gotta do the Veil Breaker thing. Prime Vanguard are the Warframes that spawn mission that they drop the parts. I was gonna say because I didn't get them. I don't think I ever got anything from them. No. The fandom doesn't work. Like it literally crashes my browser. I don't know what's up. Yeah. I'll tell you my frames that I liked and I didn't like. So I got Baruch Prime, really enjoyed him. Caliban's pretty good, but you only use him for the one thing. Yeah. A lot of games are moving to their own wikis actually. Vampire Survivors also did. Caliban, pretty cool, but Caliban you only use, you know, you get you press you tap third, then you hold it to spawn the ranged guys, and then you just press your one, spin around, and then destroy everybody. He's pretty good though. But that's like, you know, I don't run anything else. I ended up getting Gauss Prime. I did have a regular Gauss before though. Gauss or whatever you want to call it. Gaia Prime. I got Gaia. As you missed, and probably for the best. I enjoy her, but she requires quite a bit of upkeep. I probably wouldn't play her too much in a game thing. I got Harrow Prime. Fuck getting Harrow. He's pretty cool actually. I didn't realize how strong he was. Servant Farm guy. Yeah, I'd be a bit lazy as well. Also, so many frames got reworked. It was a little bit confusing me coming back. I still don't think I know every single frame that got a rework. I think every single time, because I'll be watching a video, I'm like, oh, okay, let me try get back into this Warframe. So I go try playing the Warframe. I'm like, this is weird. Watch a video on the Warframe, it's just like, in blah 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 time, they got a rework, and I'm just like, what? They got a rework? So now I gotta refigure it out. Like Inaros got a buff and stuff like that. To be honest, I didn't even know that Ember got a rework, but from what I saw, Inaros did. Grendel got a rework. Obviously, yes, you saw High Druid. Who else got a rework that I saw? There was quite a couple. Wasn't Nyx or something. I swear one of these guys but maybe I'm misremembering. Oberon got a rework. Trinity got a rework as well. Valkyria got one. I think Urali did. See, the thing is Urali wasn't even there when I left. I did temporarily play for a little bit with a friend, and then I stopped playing. And essentially all that had happened was Urali came out, and that was it, essentially. Yeah, there's quite a couple. Urali's alright, nothing too crazy. I think she's kind of just alright, but I just don't really see why I'd use her over so many other friends. There's also other friends that just do what she does, but better. You got Zaku Prime. Oh, you like Urali? I just found her, like, average. She wasn't bad or anything, but she also wasn't overly good. But I probably could have put more. Really? But to be honest, I didn't know that you could one-shot. Evidently what I've tried is probably not the same as what you've tried then, because nothing was one-shotting when I was playing. But she was pretty good. I did like shoving them all into the little tornado and stuff. Zaku's pretty cool. I had prior Zaku, but I got Zaku Prime. Yuri's pretty cool. So my favorite Warframe would be Wukong, but having played Uriel, I find plays quite a lot like Wukong actually, so I quite like Uriel. I think they play really similarly. Augment's broken. I have one augment, but you also got augmented. I don't even know how you got it. I paid somebody probably some ridiculous amount of platinum just to get augmented. I think it was like 70 plat or something, which is, I guess, not that ridiculous. I still don't know where you get it from. That'll be why. I don't think I've run the only Zariman missions I've ever run was the ones that we had to for that one mission. One. Or cooldown. Is there a cooldown on the ability? For one blades gain 10 damage when any acrobate. Oh, that's pretty good when you. Yeah, I have the other one. Yeah. But wait then. I have the Marilena augment. I don't have that one. Oh yeah, these are my mods, aren't they? No, these are not mine. These are your mods. Yeah. I was gonna say, because I think we have like the same level adaptation, but then my continuity is not the same. They don't. It's good if you want to play. Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, I don't think I would use her. Because unless you're in an area that you could viably use a K drive, which is not normal missions. What the fuck was that? Going on there. That's what I gotta say. The new war was mega buggy. I was playing the new war. Never mind. I thought I got an important message. I'm fucking bot on Discord. I was playing the new war. I ran into so many fucking bugs with it. It was really annoying. Also, it seems like they adjusted some of the things post, but then some things hadn't been adjusted. Like I was trying to go through. You probably won't remember, but when you're doing the Corpus guy, you have to go through. There's like this turret, and I played through that like 5 times over, and I was like actually trying here, and your health has been reduced. Like I was looking at it, so it was either your health or your shield had been reduced post. Because I was getting so frustrated. I was watching other people play. I'm like, the values are not even the same anymore. You actually have less health. What is this? You played. There wasn't any bugs. Yeah. Another thing was so annoying as well. It removed my voice. So I was playing like a female voice with my operator, and it swapped to a guy voice. It was so annoying. Then I was like, okay, we got to the broken down ship, on wherever the broken down ship is, right? You know the one that I'm referring to, though. And so I decided to swap the thing, went into the next mission, and the missions are reasonably long. And then it swapped back to the male voice again. And I was just like, oh, now I'm struggling to like focus because all I'm thinking about is my masculine operator now. Yeah. I actually did come down to what the cause was. And so that was what I thought it was, because I did hear that they swapped everything out. What it turned out being was I would change the voice, and then if you change the voice, then you leave, and then I got pissed off because I was using these wings, but then I couldn't see anything, which is I guess the downside of having the wings. They look cool, but you can't see anything when you use them. So then I would want to swap out the wings, for example, and then whenever you'd go back into changing the operator, it resets the voice. So I'd go in and I would change the wings and I'd remove the wings. I'd leave without knowing that the voice just reset, because I don't know why that bug exists, but it does. It does. And I would leave, I'd join the mission. It took me about 3 missions to realize that the bug was because I was removing or changing something about my operator. But whenever you go into that, it reverts back to some other one. So, I don't know. Stuff like that is so annoying. Yeah. I've run into so many, and it's like a pain. There's a lot of small things. There was this other one, the Hex, which I'm hoping they fixed, because they did there's some fix as of now, but as of this morning. But there was that Hex one was very annoying, that bug. I don't know if you ever run into that, but it was this one mission. I think it was always the capture mission on the Hex, but sometimes the survival, and it was that one where it's like enemies explode, but that would never do anything. It would never give you the mission. So the extraction would never spawn. So myself and plenty of other people would go 30 minutes into a mission, then go, why hasn't the extraction spawned yet? And then realize, oh, it inherently doesn't spawn. I was crashing out because we had so many good drops as well. Like, we had a couple arcanes and stuff as well in that mission. And I was like, damn it. Sevagoth released. I'm hoping they did, because it was testing me. Sevagoth, I actually really like him, but I find him not very survivable, but it could be my build. I did increase his health recently, and that's made him a bit better. But I cannot viably run this, and that's because my efficiency is too bad. So maybe I need to increase my efficiency. Because this is what makes him survivable, but then again, I can't run it because it's not viable with the 200 energy. But I just don't think it's viable in general with my build. Stynex was randomly given to me. Yeah. This is what you run. I don't have this. I think this is a new one. I don't recall this being a mod when I left. Oh, there you go. That's interesting. This is what you're on. You have less range and less strength. Yeah. Is shield gating the same? I still see a lot of people mentioning shield gating, but I think I heard a couple people mention some things have changed about it, so that'll be why I don't. Yeah. Stynex is a bit mid. I sort of feel the same way as I feel with, but that's just my opinion, with Ureli, where he's decent, but once again, I just don't think he does anything crazy, which kind of sucks because I like the I fuck with like the vibe of the character. But I think the only thing that's really interesting, this one's pretty good actually. This one's quite helpful as a team. But this one, it's alright. This one, not really. This one's decent. I like this one cool-wise, but I just don't think it... There's so many abilities that just do more damage. That's sort of like, why would you run that? Shield getting is still the main way, yeah. Or health tanking back. Yeah. All my builds were running, well, as you can probably see, Grace and Guardian, so that was kind of what I was running. I see everybody, the new meta is this Melt Augmented. That's what everybody's running for most things. Do you have this time? I don't think so. I might have bought it. I remember I was considering buying it, and then... It was for his 4, right? His 4 augment. I don't think I bought it in the end. I considered buying it, and then I think I chose it over something else. Oh, really? I mean, I think it does depend on the Warframe, right? I think there are... Especially if you're not playing one that benefits greatly from strength, and what's the point? Comey's kind of mid as well. I sort of like am pretty meh on Comey. She's alright. I don't think she's very good as a starter Warframe, even though she's kind of positioned as that. And I guess unless you're doing a really long mission, she's kind of way too long of a setup for really what she's worth running. I'd say that my favorite one that I've played has been Uriel, really. But Sevagoth's actually really good as a nuke. I quite like. Steinax. Oh, what am I gonna do? And even your mainframe, which loves strength, I use another arcane. Really? Does it? What do you run? I do remember another one doing strength. Or are you referring to that? I'm assuming it's this one. This one's worth a lot of plat. When I was grinding the arcanes, I think I skipped past this one, but I think this one was like 170 normally or something like that. Unique status effects from abilities though. Does she run any that? Oh, because you use your 4, I'm assuming that's what you're doing, right? I can see. Oh, so this is like, there's no cap on this as well. Yeah, the Archon, I don't even know how you get these ones. I'm assuming this is the same thing as having to... Yeah, that's what it was. I was trying to search up how to get these Archon mods. And you had to do that Cow quest, and I'm like, fuck. Okay, can you... Oh, so you're running... So... What's her... Yeah, Vabreaker. So, let me... I was playing her recently, so... Titania was like one of the main frames I was playing during the Predator Rebellion stuff, because she's arguably one of the best for it. I could never figure out what this ability, how it worked. So I just didn't use it. Cycle through and extract one of the 4 buffs in Arsenal. Okay, so you can give yourself damage reduction, or give enemies. You just asinine. Yeah, I figure. It's a little bit convoluted for me, I gotta be honest. Yeah, Impetus does seem insane. Especially because they're adding some insane mods. I've been running the Hex stuff, and you know, you got mods that literally inherently just grant you radiation damage, or inherently grant you, you know, magnetic. That's crazy to me. Yeah, like this one, right? Galvanized. I need to get galvanized a few. I don't have either of those actually. I haven't gotten enough to get. There's something new. I've never used a single one of these. I don't even know if I have any of these. Pretty good build. Do you run Blast? Why run Blast? Is Blast good? I don't know what the metas are status, okay? It used to be, when I left, obviously beforehand it used to be Corrosive. I think it used to be Corrosive Red. And then... It was definitely Corrosive. And then around... Because they obviously reworked status chance. This was around when the melees got nerfed, and that was around when the whole Kuva Brammer was OP, was about when I left. And around then it was Viral Heat, and then obviously doing a bunch of slash damage with the Hunter munitions or whatever stuff. That was the meta. It lacks AoE. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah. I guess that makes sense. My stuff's probably not anything crazy. I mean, it's fine. It was serving me fine in those missions, but I wasn't running Steel Pass, so... This is mine. I think it's just a bit of a universal build. But this was a very mini nuke. I'm assuming this was for my lantern. I don't know what the nuke was on. I'm assuming it was for the lantern. Not a particularly one. Then this is this. Obviously needs... I have an Eidolon build. Obviously needs Former. Oh. I don't have any of that. Crazy stuff. Viral. Why did I not go Viral Heat? Oh, it's because I probably needed to swap this one out. I couldn't be fucked. Because obviously you could potentially run one of these, but obviously I don't have the stuff for it, so I kind of just probably dealt with Viral. Yeah. My stuff's nowhere near level cap. My melee's been pretty good. I've been starting to build some good stuff, to be honest. But holy balls, all these new mods require so much endo. I had 60k endo, there was like 2 mods and I was gone. I'm like, fuck, okay. Thought I was safe. I do some Hex missions, but I'm just trying to figure out what I want to run. I need to stop playing Uriel. Uriel's been my grind as of recent. I tried Caliban, but Caliban's kind of... The issue with Caliban and Sevagoth is it's kind of just like a one trick, you know. It's like... You play this ability and this is what you do. But it's fun to do that. I don't really have enough to... 5k, quite a lot. Okay. I'm going to... okay, I'm gonna run some... I tell a lie. I'm gonna run some, I think, Python. But, I'm just gonna quickly refill my drink bottle first. I tell a lie, solely because I was like, oh, I would have gone a couple Orokin cells, but I obviously left that mission because I couldn't be fucked because I don't think I was going to pass it. So 1 second. In the meantime, next, I'll shoot or something. Game that I was working on. I'll be right back. Amy, how's it going? Welcome. Right. Run over a bunch of wires and that was is not a welcome. How you doing? You've been working at Sora a few times, how are you?
Accept your death. And
So that
you may
one's
yet
finished.
avoid
We've
it.
finished working on that
Trust in your training.
for the most part. I think I got like one more update that I've been working on, but I'm not liking it, so it's a bit dead in the water for now. I'm trying to add
Life support has been cut off.
I was trying to
They're
add
trying to choke you out. Hold on. I'm sending
achievements to the
auxiliary
game,
life
and
support.
it's not easy. Yeah, I mean it's not an alright game. It's not. I'm not. Oh fuck me. Field path guys just absolutely obliterate you. It's pretty crazy. I mean, I'm not sweating my balls off, but at the same time, sometimes, you know, I don't want to. How's the commission going? Oh, fuck me. Okay, this is just getting annoying. My build's not that bad. I mean, come on.
Life support on the way.
Oh, now I'm out of fucking energy. Oh, nice. Animation or 2D? Problem with your survivability to Sugoth is using brief respite to survive. Yeah,
I've delivered a
true.
life support capsule
Because
to
my
the area.
gloom stinks is
Activating
my
it will
issue.
buy you more time.
Look at it. So I probably need to adjust my build, I think. Even then, I had it running, but maybe I don't know. I might need to look into this. I'd have better luck running just this. It's annoying. He sort of builds up a bit. So boring though. That's a bit of a boring. That I, oh yeah. Yeah, he's a bit maybe too much. Like I know there's guys that spawn and would absolutely
Get ready for a capsule.
rail me, sadly. Yeah. Why did it not kill me? Oh, now I'm not. Energy problem. Ah, this is just annoying. I'm gonna abort because I haven't even got a single Hurricane Cell yet. Let's see. This is crazy. I don't usually run into that many issues in the past. Yeah. It's not even like my range is that high though. That's my thing. Fuck. I have Energize, I should be keeping my thing up, but it's obviously not enough. Equilibrium to give me shit, but it isn't enough. If I drop Vitality, I'm already gonna... I'm still... You know what I mean? The issue is I end up getting one shot anyway. And... So I just can't... I'd maybe drop Adaptation, but then... have, because adaptation is probably your best bet for dropping something, but then at the same time, because the thing is, right, if I'm getting essentially like, you know, 3-4 shots, the 3-4 shots adaptation isn't enough. You have a good one next. Thanks for popping by, and it was good seeing you in a while. But you have a good one, Chief. And yeah, we'll just seeing you again at some point. Run spring. Drop something else in there.
Ordis went mad for 3 milliseconds when he realized that each time he cleans something, he makes something else dirty. Ah! There
I guess
we
if
go
I
again.
augmented, I don't really need crazy strength. Whack Ordis. I'll whack you in a minute. What'd you get up to today, Amy? Narration's just useless on this. I think. Unless it maybe not. Oh, there we go. This duration that I need, never mind. That's not too bad. See if there's any. I didn't get up to too much. My brother got home yesterday, so it's mostly just catching up with my brother. See if this is any better. Here's my. I don't have a lot of overall energy. My other bit would be running. I'll try this, but then if this isn't working, I'll run. See if I can fit low. I don't think that's
These
quite
foes deserve your respect. Honor them with quick deaths, and I with your
if I can get
victory.
low and do the
Life
other bit.
support has been cut off. They're trying to
Don't have
choke
much.
you out. Hold on. I'm sending.
I do have
auxiliary
some
life
interesting
support.
news for you, Amy. I do have plans to work on another game, so that's pretty cool. Oh, so I should be running Bloom. Yeah. I'm planning on running the global game jam. I don't know if this is going better solely because of whatever I've changed, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's just a bit better of a situation here. The audio's fine. I'm
Prepare
just
for
looking at
life
the
support.
desktop audio being quite high, so I'm a bit concerned about that. Might drop it a little bit. So I'm looking at running the global game jam, essentially. Which I've told you a little bit. I think you know what a game jam is, I believe. We've talked about it a bit in the past, I think, that full season. But if you want me to re-clarify, I can.
I
Yeah.
delivered a life
So the
support
global game
capsule to
jam
the
is just a
area.
game jam, but it's
Activating it will buy you more
global.
time.
Most, yeah. Because you have a lot of them, but this is like the universal one. Because most of them Like, there we have ones that are just New Zealand, we got ones that are, you know, just a specific community. I mean, anybody can do it, right? But it's, you know what I mean, that community itself is hosting. Yeah. Oh, you're running there? I got invited by, one of my classmates. Steve. She mentioned that she was interested in working with me on it. So, yeah, we'll be doing that. Yeah. This is really cool as well, so really good. It is end of this month.
Life support on the way.
But it's gonna be so intense. Because you probably know game jams are only about 48 hours, generally. Still generally around then anyway, so... That's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, the rest of the team seems pretty... Oh. I just haven't really done too much with
Additional
them.
life support has arrived.
But there'll be a couple of us that'll be there. So it'll be good. I'll be with one of my mates. Yeah, one of my mates. I got Jacob who's gonna be doing it, and I'll be doing it with Jason, but I don't fucking know Jason. So, a couple other guys. Yeah. Oh, I'm starting back work next week. That's a little bit daunting. Although I might have gotten out of the shitty job apparently, according to Ollie. Except the other one's not much better. When I say shitty, it's just the context of what we're doing and the job's gonna be a little bit great. It removed everything that I had. It removed everything pretty much that I had.
I've delivered another life support capsule.
I hate the jade things. The jade things I've got to tell next. That's a new thing, and I don't really understand what they are. I've also almost finished my book. That's been pretty good. My trilogy. I have a couple facts for you, Amy. If you want a couple facts, that'll keep you
Made their first
entertained.
discovery. Keep up the good work. Extraction is available.
Here's a couple facts for you. Let me see. I have a lot, so it's figuring out a way with all these. So the word pistol and the word howitzer, so pistol being, you know, a handgun, and a howitzer, which is like it's a cannon that's like on what do you call it? Sort of on like a, you can tow it behind like things. So in the past there was like you could tow it behind like a horse, or you could tow it now behind like a tank or like a truck or like these sorts of things, right? Like that's not too bad. Fine. That actually was better than I thought. Both of those are Czech, or like they derive from Czech words. Which is pretty interesting, and both of them relate back to the Hussite. I have found out that there's a lot of stuff that actually relates back to the Hussites, which is very interesting. Hussites. I'm actually surprised. Like, it's such a small thing, and it's such a nothing burger. I feel like a lot of people just don't know anything about it. But then, I'm surprised so many things. So both those words, because, so you had the, I think it's, pistol comes from, like, pistol, but with an E, which is, like, Old French, which derives from, I think it's, like, Pistola, which I think is, like, you know, it wasn't it wasn't the chicks that made, you know, handguns, but like that was probably more mine or something. But the English name, and I don't know how to pronounce it, to be honest. I haven't really searched up, but it's something like Hoofnish or something, or Hoofnish, which is what how it's essentially comes from. So that's pretty interesting. I found out that so if you know a bit of science, you'll know potassium, and you may know potassium's elemental table letter is a K. But why is it K? If it's potassium, there's not a K in potassium. Well, I found that out. It's because of the Latin, or maybe Neo-Latin, it depends what you're into, which is Callium. I believe Callium and potassium are actually the same things, but it's the non-English thing. But a lot of it sort of derives from stuff like potash, because like Kali or Callium is like essentially like what do you call it? It's like burnt plants essentially, which is essentially like potash, and so they used to get potassium from that, and that's I don't know, it all works together. So that's pretty interesting. I found, fuck, what was the other thing that I was gonna say? It's really disappointing. Who's coming to my house next time? You can't get out of that. What was the other thing? There was something that was really interesting, I found. I've been telling my mum all these things. I might call her. Okay, give me a minute to think on this one. Okay, this isn't related, but it's a intermediary thing. So there's somebody called Hannibal Barker who is like probably one of the biggest people. He's one of the best like generals of all time, and probably one of the few people that really fucked up the Romans, I guess, in the day. But he's the Carthaginian. He was one of the first people to really utilize what do you call it? Guerrilla warfare, which is kind of interesting. That's an interesting fact. Not related to the Hussites though, it's a little bit before that. What is the fact that I'm thinking of? I think there's a little bit too much in the game right now for me to really figure out what I'm thinking of, unfortunately. Oh, jeez. Oh, there goes that guy. Sure. You're coming here, though. I think I want to leave this now. I'm really interested in finding that other fact. I have quite a lot of them, but I'm now hyper fixated on this single one, and I'm really annoyed that I can't think of what it is. Oh, I remember. Be free the whole day. Fine, depends, because your definition of the whole day is completely different to my definition of the whole day. So I'm just like, I'll be like, oh, I'm free, and you'll be like, sweet, we'll do a fucking walk at like 11:59 at night, and I'm like, well, buddy, I don't think I want to go for a walk at 11:59 at night. Oh fuck, why did you even ask me that question? Now I've forgotten. I was gonna say. Oh, I know. This one's an interesting one. So, Protestant, like the religion, right? But it's the whole Martin Luther. Nah, but like, I have to do some things tomorrow, and I'm not sure how I'm gonna be. Well, as long as it's not too late, okay? Like, it doesn't have to be 11 AM, but I also would rather it not be 7 PM. Also because my parents are getting back, so I sort of have to be there to help them. Okay, so, anyway, as I was saying, Amy, yeah. As I was saying, Amy, so the Protestant, that's all, like, that whole revolution was based off of, Martin Luther. Interesting thing, Martin Luther called himself a Hussite. Which is interesting, albeit there's a little bit more to that story than I explained it, but it's a mega summarized thing. Oh, that's kind of
Critical life
interesting.
support levels. Extraction is your best option.
I say a little bit more to that story. It's stuff like
And so we learn the importance of clarity.
you know, Hussitism
purpose.
wasn't really a thing by then. Like post, because it sort of died out. I guess technically you had like Ultraquism, you know, the Ultraquists, but that was sort of really pushed aside because the church wasn't very happy with it. But that's kind of interesting. But then again, it sort of is a little bit of a, what do you call it? A bit of a meandering thing, because then again, the Hussites are based off of the Waldensians and the Wycliffes stuff. Well, the Waldensians, yeah, and the Wycliffe, which is the Wycliffites, and what is known as like the Lollards. And those guys are also probably based off something else. Yeah. You thought you were sidetracked by Fleet. I was sidetracked by Fleet. Out here, not even bringing facts to the TLD on that last one, it was the essentially the Protestants now, like as a religion, their leader, who is Martin Luther, who, you know, led the revolution, he considered himself to be a Hussite. Like, he openly stated, I am a Hussite. But, yeah. Which is pretty interesting. But, as I mentioned, bear in mind, the Protestant Revolution was like about 100 years post, because that was the 1500s, no? Or yeah, it was the 1500s when the revolution happened. So Hussitism wasn't really a thing anymore. Like, not as it was anyway. I think that the Ultraquists technically existed for quite a bit after that, but not really. And the Ultraquists were like the moderate Hussites. Because it got a bit weird. It was all the Hussites, and then around the end, it was just getting too expensive to go around to the Ultraquists. Sort of got a bit frustrated, which are the moderates, compared to the Orphans and the Taborites, which are those were the extremist guys. And so the Ultraquists actually teamed up with the normal Catholics, I guess. And they ended up defeating the things, which is so funny. The end of the Hussites in that regard was such a interesting thing. Probably the biggest thing that ended it. I'm not going to get too elaborate on it, but the Hussites, among many things, were known for one big thing called the Wagenburg tactics, which, just think of it, I mean, I can put it in a modern day thing. Imagine you were trying to stop people from killing you, so you got a bunch of cars and you lined the cars up in maybe like a circle or a square, for example, and there was no gaps between the cars, like you put them up to each other, so then nobody, like, you know, to get over the cars would be annoying. So then you had a bunch of, let's say just modern days, you had a bunch of guns, and so you'd shoot the people from what, you know, within like this little structure of cars that are around you. That's what the Wagenburg tactics were, essentially. But a little bit different, of course, because, I mean, you had guns and you had artillery then, but primitive, right? Yeah, that's kind of what they did. Wagon this nerd. Yeah, and so what they would do is that was their defense. Essentially impenetrable. Like, I don't think it was, like, ever beaten, the Wagenburg. Like, I don't think they ever really... The only time that they got beaten, really, was when they lost. And that was because it was really good, is what you'd do is people would charge at you with horses. They can't do anything about it. You got all your flails, which is also a thing. So two-handed flails came from the Hussites as well. Not the single-handed flails, though. But, yeah, and so people would have flails and they have, you know, spears and stuff. Well, a little bit different then. It would be like, you know, guisarmes and those sorts of things. But, like golden dags and stuff. But but yeah, and then what would happen is the horses would come, all the horses would end up dying because there's nothing that you can do against it, right? And then, you know, everybody would retreat, and so that when everyone starts retreating, the Hussites would come out and they would go out on their horses. They would open up the Wagenburg, the wagons, and then they would chase them with horses and kill them all. Very effective. Like, bear in mind, they bet. I mean, to be honest, this wasn't the only way that they won. Like, they did, probably not think, but they bet multiple, like, crusades. There were so many crusades against them, and they never lost, I don't think, against a crusade. I don't even think that the end was a crusade. I can't really remember, though. But it was, like, too easy for them. But the reason that they essentially lost, and this fucked them, like, this was it at the end, was because they did this, but when the guys were retreating, it was sort of like a faux retreat, so they would retreat, and so then the Hussites got a little bit too greedy, and so they started to attack them, counterattack. But then on the counterattack, it was like a fake retreat. I don't remember. I don't know if there were like extra troops or how it actually happened, but essentially, long story short, with the counterattack, it opened up the Wagenburgs, and that was a mistake. And then the Catholics went in and killed most of them, if not all of them. So, yeah. In fairness, there was a bit of a reformation within the church because of this, but it was quite light. Yeah. So there was a reformation in the church due to this. I think they took in some of the Ultraquist things. It's very religious stuff, and I'm not really religious myself, so I can't say too much on that without getting into stuff that I don't know anything really about. But some stuff, though, was like the clergy would essentially make so much money because you could pay indulgences and stuff like that. I don't know if because of this there were no more indulgences, but one big push is they were like, you know, the priests and stuff shouldn't be like. Bear in mind, some of like outside of nobility, some of the richest people back then were like priests and stuff like that. Just because of like indulgences and you can just make so much money as a priest back then. Not every priest, but bear in mind this is also a lot of Europe, right? We're not talking like other sorts of things, and probably not everywhere in Europe, but this is just yeah, that was a common thing. So yeah, that got a bit interesting. Yeah, the Hussites were not too happy with that. But then again, with like the whole, maybe that really got pushed with it, because that was also a big push of the Protestants. That's part of why the Protestants were not happy. So I'm assuming that came from that. What was I gonna search up? Oh, I remember. Let me quickly see. I'm gonna end stream shortly. Didn't miss too much, to be honest. I actually didn't do really anything on stream. One second, I'm intrigued. I had some really good stuff, but the issue is like I call my mum and I tell her like everything that I've been learning and stuff. And when I call her, obviously I'm not saving. There was a video game showcase that's been pretty good actually. This morning, probably nothing too interesting for you. Yeah, it does look like Pishtala. For pistol. Been learning about so many different like medieval people and stuff like that. It's quite interesting. Oh, are you kidding me? My history seems to have deleted over a specific time. I don't think I've ever deleted my history though, so that's annoying. It could just be yeah, it literally only shows me everything that I've searched up today. No, today, yeah, just today, which is weird. Might just be a Oprah thing. Recently, maybe like a week ago, I had the same issue with my desktop, except it wasn't just, like everything got wiped. So, all like my saved data, so I had to go and sign into every single like email and everything, and that was really frustrating. But to re-sign into every single like email and yeah. So all my emails, everything had to be re-signed into, and I had like lots open. So I was like, fuck, I gotta remember everything. So you name it, you know, I had to re-sign in. So all my Steamworks stuff I had to re-sign into. You know, you name it, I had a lot open, to be honest. I think I had obviously my Audible, I had Amazon Prime because I've been watching some Grand Tour thing, lots of stuff. I know. Well, it's not actually as bad anymore. I have these and this one. And then I got these. And bear in mind, this isn't as bad as it was. Because, having to re-sign into all my Confluence stuff was a pain. Because Confluence, you have to go through like so many different things to get where you want to be. And I had to re-sign into it. Very annoying. I had to delete stuff because earlier stream you wouldn't have seen, but my whole stream crashed because like my computer technically kind of crashed, and yeah, I ended up going, okay, I'm gonna delete a bunch of tabs just in case and that did not fix it. But the thought was there, you know. Yeah. Damn. So I'm actually genuinely bummed that my history is gone. Hold on, let me. I mean, I've been learning lots of stuff, like the first, one of the first, not the first itself, but one of the first like printing presses, not Czech, but that's it was the first one for printing the Bible. That's definitely wasn't the first printer, as I've found out. I thought it was, but it wasn't. For the Gutenberg press, Germany. Reference book. There's so many like. This is the thing that I love about the book, though. It references so many interesting people, like real people. It's so interesting. Stuff like, you know, Avija the Black. He's a very interesting guy. He's a guy. He's like me, you know. He died because he was like fighting people, and it was like it was a good fight. Like it was, well, okay. I mean, it depends on whose side you're on, right? It wasn't. He wasn't a bad guy. Unless you're the opposition to him. And essentially he was holding the retreat for a bunch of like noble people and stuff like that. I could be to differ on that comment, but essentially he was holding the retreat, and then because he's a noble, he was a noble, right? And he was very famous. He was like incredibly famous in Poland and stuff. He won so many duels, and he was like one of the best knights, like one of the best knights probably of all time from Poland. And he was holding the retreat of a bunch of nobles and stuff, and they're like, okay, they send in like a boat to help him escape, and stuff, because he's like, you know, he's a noble, stuff like that, and he's like a very important figure and stuff like that. Like he was like, for example, in the Battle of Grunwald, I believe he was Grunwald, very important as well there and stuff like that. So I can't imagine you'd know that. That's a very niche battle. But anyway, they were trying to send in a thing, and it was going to help him escape. The issue is, it was only him that was going to escape, not the people that he was defending, stopping the people attacking from. And he's just like, nah, I'm not going to abandon my homies. You know, if we're going down, I'm going down with the ship, essentially. Like, I'm not going to escape and let, you know, my other, you know, my homies, you know, my friendly knights here, my companions die. And so he died, obviously, with them. He was a really big guy, to be honest. I didn't know, but he actually fought with. I only found out about this like yesterday or today, that he actually fought with Zizka. I'd known about him for like years, but Savage the Black. Spelling's hard, of course, but of course, in this painting, which is a pretty famous painting of let's see, like I mean, that's him, but he's actually in KCD. I also completely forgot he is also in KCD. I kind of forgot about that. I didn't even really know about that. It's such a shit thing. I don't really want to show this. Like I would, but it's super zoomed out. Like I can't see. I want to show it. Oh, no way. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, this is cool. I want to go here. This is my favorite painting of all time. Stanchik. Hold on. I don't want to go through this. Wow, this is like a really cool music. Oh, here we go. This is a great image. So this, or maybe it's not. Maybe this isn't. A lot of people say, I saw people saying that this is Zizka. You know, the one-eyed Zizka, but maybe it's not, to be honest. It could just be a hoax. This. I think, you know, there are reports that he was there, but really, I just don't think he had that big of an impact. on it. I don't know if this actually is. It could just be an not be. This is amazing. This is not of the time though, to be honest. This is like post big lances and stuff. So you got the Teutonic Knights here, which are the Germans, the Prussians. This would be. I can't. Is it like Yair? Gower? Gower? Or is it like the older? The leader of the. But obviously, that obviously is not at all. It is Yagoa. It wouldn't be Ulrich. I cannot imagine that this guy is. Or actually funny. Yeah, some paintings are amazing. It's this is an insane thing. Pomerania. Golden Horde is crazy. Look at this. There's a Golden Horde. These are like the artists. Smolensk, Moldavia, Pomerania. You also got Pomerania against Pomerania. Or Walk. Their favorites is very simple. It's Ophelia, Arabians. So maybe Silesia. I can never understand whether Silesia was ever its like own thing. Right? Some people could like refer to it as it being its own thing, but I don't think it ever was. It's just a I want to see what you're referring to. I've never seen this before. Is it this one? And is like I'm assuming this one. What's the yeah, what's the I like it, it looks really cool. Is there like a story behind it? I'm assuming it's something to do with flowers. Also some William Shakespeare. Yeah, this one? Or not that one? Hmm. I don't like this one, but that's me. I have never, this is actually an ironic thing. I've never, yeah, both are good. Good. I've never, what do you call it? Partaked in anything Shakespeare-y. I've never watched a play that's based on Shakespeare. I've never read any Shakespeare-y things. The Shakespeare's not really a reading thing. I've never watched anything Shakespeare related. Very interesting. Why is that? I took drama actually as well for a year, but I never. But not for English though. The only things that I don't think Shakespeare was ever mentioned actually, ironically. The only things that I know about it is like personal research. Like for example, here's it. Who's the two lovers? Whoever they are. I don't know. I can't remember the names off the top of my head. I just keep thinking fucking Hansel and Gretel, which is obviously not it. But I know, yeah, Romeo and Juliet. That's the one. I know that that's based off of Cleopatra and the Roman guy. Pretty much, yeah. Okay, not purposely. I said that was what was in my head, but not. Oh, Wallachia, no way. Wallachia is an interesting thing. I feel like I don't know. This was pretty. I'll say relatively well known. So Wallachia has the. I believe it's Wallachia. It is Transylvania. No. Well, I know Romania has Transylvania, but doesn't Wallachia? Yeah, and Vlad the Impaler, who is what Count Dracula is based off of. Count Dracula is based off of Vlad the Impaler. It's Vlad Dracul. Or Dracula. Oh, he's the voivode. Yeah, he was the voivode of Wallachia. Interesting. I don't know if this is inherently true, but I did hear, so his father, who was also, they were both part of, I think they were both, at least his father was part of it. It's called the Order of the Dragon, essentially. And it's like Sigismund, who is like who was the Holy Roman Emperor, but also like the king of like Bohemia and stuff like that, which Bohemia is Czech Republic. I heard that it was like it's originally was getting started for it was going to get started for the Hussites, but then the Hussites kind of already ended by then, so he ended up using it against the Turks, I believe. But maybe what I heard was wrong. That could be nonsense. See, I don't know if this is true, but a lot of people call the Battle of Grunwald Tannenberg, and I'm not too sure if it is, but I wonder if it's any relation to the Battle of Tannenberg, as in like World War II. Yeah, World War II. Oh no, never mind. This is just something. Wait, what? It was one of the largest battles in medieval Europe. The battle is viewed as one of the most important victories in Poland and Lithuania. But we were doing some research about, we learned some facts about Lithuania actually yesterday because my brother does some trivia things. Lithuania's got less than 3 million inhabitants. Commemorated by Ukraine. For centuries, it has been that part of Europe reminiscent to advanced legends or mythology, and national pride becoming the largest symbol struggle against foreign invaders during the 20th century. The battle in Nazi German and Soviet propaganda campaigns before. Why would the Germans? The Germans lost. If anything, you could claim the Soviets could, but the Germans lost because the Germans were essentially the Teutonic, the whole Prussia and stuff. I mean, Germany never existed during this time. Germany is actually quite modern, interestingly. I was speaking to my friend who's German, and she mentioned that Germany's only really around like 200 years old, which is crazy to think about. within reason, as like a namesake, I guess. Germany technically is older than that. Like you had a lot. The Holy Roman Empire, sorry, is essentially what Germany is now, but a little bit refined, of course. But the Teutons lost. To be honest, it was very close to the start. It wasn't a obliteration thing. Kind of interesting though. Here's another thing that I learned. So you have something called a fly agara, which is the red and white mushrooms. Agaric, I guess. Fly agaric. These are the term. They can make you psychedelic, yeah, hallucinogenic. I learned about that. I had no clue. Which sounds weird that I know about that, but it's the book, the audio book. They were talking about. You didn't know that. I didn't know that. Am I crazy? Everybody that I mentioned that to apparently knows about it, and I had no clue. But no, in my book they're talking about they were talking about, because they're talking about these assassins, the Black Riders of Death, essentially. And of course, the assassins are taking hashish, which historically these guys that is in the book is not. It was never a real thing, but assassins historically, you know, the whole assassins group, like the group of assassins, they were always on hashish. As not the Assassin's Creed, but Assassin's Creed was based off of the group of assassins, essentially, and so they would all take hashish, and hashish in real life isn't this, but in the book they utilize fly agaric, in some concoction anyway. I don't know if it's related or they take this and hashish, but anyway. Yeah, and so it mentioned about these. Yeah, so that was interesting because these are usually poisonous, but I guess if you dry them and heat them up and stuff, and then them a little bit, then it turns into a psychedelic. Right. Yeah, I believe Battle Grunwald was the thing that essentially stopped the Teutons. That was essentially the death of the Teutons. Yeah. What's the D in D-Day? That's an interesting one. And the D in D-Day stands for day, so it's essentially Day-Day. The Day-Day. That's funny. I didn't know that. D-Day reminds me of so many other things that I know of. Very interesting. There was somebody, I'll tell you one final fact before I leave. So with D-Day, I believe it's D-Day now. World War II, yes. There's Operation Overlord. So in Operation Neptune. So one of the biggest reasons, so this is really funny, one of the biggest reasons the Allies actually won D-Day is because of a... I don't want to get it wrong. I think Portuguese man. So it's essentially, I don't know if it's Portuguese, but it's somewhere like around there. And essentially, this guy, he was like, essentially, he was fucked over with like, he was really annoyed with like some Nazi propaganda or something, and so he ended up, he tried to apply to become a spy for the British. Got denied. So then what he was doing is he was faking. This is such a funny story. So well, not a funny story, but kind of interesting. He was essentially faking being he was essentially like a fake spy. Like he would say information and just make claims and stuff like that. And the Nazis were essentially like they actually believed him. So he would was like saying, you know, that he lived in London, for example, and say he said that he you know, had like a bunch of like a whole spy operation essentially in, you know, London. And so the Nazis would send him money. He didn't have it was all like fake. And so one time he was said something, and he's like, these ships are going to be leaving the harbor of London at this specific time to do blah thing. Massive coincidence, because ships actually were leaving. I don't think it was anything related to the actual thing, but it essentially the ships were leaving at that time that the guy said. But the note that he sent to the Nazis essentially had been intercepted by the British, and so the British genuinely are like, oh shit, there's a spy here. Fuck, we need to get to the bottom of this. Was reading what was inside the note. Complete horse shit. Like, the guy was claiming things about London that actually wasn't in London. And he said something about, like, something along the lines of, like, Irish were, like, very heavy wine drinkers. Either the Irish or the Scottish or something like that. I can't really remember off the top of my head. Either way, whether or not Scottish, Irish, whatever, right? That is not the case, right? Not mega heavy wine drinkers. And so anyway, the British looked into it, spoke to the guy. The guy was obviously just making shit up, but he was a, I don't know what you call it. Like, he wasn't a double agent, because he wasn't feeding the information anywhere, but he also wasn't helping the Nazis either. So then he did become a legitimate double agent, and so what would happen is he would feed some information to the Nazis back then, and it was all fake information. Fake news! But then he did some really interesting thing to help really get himself into the whole, like, Nazi happy side, I don't know, and really convince him that he's legit. Because what he did was kind of a smart thing to do, actually. He wrote an actual thing that the British were doing, but he gave a date. Or maybe it wasn't an actual thing, but it was pretty legit, though. No, it was legit. He said that the British were going to be doing an attack, essentially, on some specific thing. He gave the date, but he held on to the note, and then he posted it a couple of days after. And so the thing was that the Nazis never received the note until, like, you know, after the battle had happened. But when you do all the, like, examining and stuff like that, like, the ink was that old and stuff like that. So that the Nazis thought that it was, it just didn't make it on time and stuff like that. So he did some, like, this guy was a genius, and some real sneaky stuff to, really convince him that he was, like, a legitimate guy. And we're just going to cut a bunch of stuff out of this story, but in the end, he essentially was leading up a bunch of information that I think the British were doing they were going to do essentially some landing somewhere else, and they had stationed a bunch of troops in some other place. And so if you've ever heard about the British or, like, the Allies, I think in this time it was primarily the British for this specific thing, that they were doing, essentially, that what they had done is they had done it was working with this other team. I forgot what the name of the team is. It's a very famous team of individuals, and what they would do was, like, I think it's called, like, the Ghost Squad or something like that, and essentially what they'd do is they'd put up, like, fake people, so they'd put up, like a blow-up tank, and, like, blow up, you know, people and stuff like that. Not weird people, though. And so it would look like these are actual bases and stuff like that. And so the Nazis would bomb these blow up things. And so they were working. This was a very thing. This was, and this also tied into the Operation Mincemeat, if you've ever heard of that as well. Like, there's so many. This was, like, such a big thing. But a big part of this as well was this one particular guy, and he was feeding information that there were being like there were a lot of other sides to this, but one big side to what really convinced the Nazis, because this guy was like full on into the this guy, like Hitler was getting his messages, like that's how fucking tight he was within, you know, the Nazis believing him. So he essentially was leading them to believe that it was in going to happen some other spot, and so the Nazis actually pulled out a lot of their troops out of Normandy and stuff like that, and were preparing to fight in a battle in Blah place. I just don't know the place itself. I can't remember. It's been too long since I've actually researched this. But essentially, yeah, they got pulled out. They went somewhere else, and then that allowed for Normandy, you know, D-Day, to actually happen relatively safely. The point where the Allies actually won. They would not have won otherwise, because there was only really one spot that D-Day could happen, and it was, you know, in Normandy on the specific beaches. You know. Let's see who the actual guy was called. It'll be here to see. I think it was, yeah, Operation Fortitude, yeah, is what I was referring to. And the guy itself is let me actually very interesting though. I was researching this actually not long ago, so I'm surprised to find it. Yeah, this is what I was referring to about the small vessels time. Oh no, that's something else actually. Yeah, dummy paratroopers and stuff, yeah. Operation Fortitude. Yes, this guy. Juan Julio Garcia, otherwise known as Agent Garcia, Agent Garbo, and he's like essentially like the person. But yeah, he was like inflating sizes of armies and like yeah, this guy's insane. Crazy, he straight up just had fictitious agents written in. But he was the only person to have been awarded both the Iron Cross and you know. I mean, I won't sort of get the picture. That's very interesting. There's so much like stuff like that in history, which I find very interesting. Because of course, stuff like that, like if that had never happened, like, you know, would things have turned out the way they did? I don't know. Stuff like that. So very interesting. Anyway, that's gonna be me for the night. Thank you guys for watching. Wow, I've not a very eventful stream or fun, but I brought some facts, so maybe those were entertaining. Sorry for the lack of stream yesterday as well, though. My brother got back from a trip for like a couple weeks, and yeah, I was hanging out with him, and he had a friend from America, so I was talking to his friend as well. And yeah, so yeah, thank you guys for watching. Tentative stream next week. We'll have to see how I feel. If I'm feeling absolutely exhausted, I might not stream. But yeah, see. And yeah, I'll update everybody on the game that I end up starting, and my game as well, okay? Just note that I do want to add achievements to the game, but I'm at a crossroads and we'll see. Because it's getting a little bit much for me. Unless I used a bunch of like AI and stuff like that, but I that's not for me, you know. So the what do you call it? The documentation is terrible, to be honest. So, and there's like no tutorials on it. There are tutorials, but I've had shit all luck. I'm getting very close to getting the tutorials to work. There's just like a little bit of like a. It's more the whole implementation, I guess. They explain how the systems work. They don't ever explain how to. Like, the only tutorial that I could find was essentially he made a button, and then whenever you press the button, but then you needed some special like other tool, and I didn't have that tool, so I couldn't test with a button. And therefore, it's going to be I had to implement it myself. However, the way that we have things implemented is kind of a bit weird, and so I also don't know how to approach implementing it via these things. So unless I did something like on like using a trigger box and then on trigger, but then it's just been so long, and it's like I could figure it out, but it's just gonna take me too long for the time that I actually have free. So I'm just trying to get a coder. I've done all the hard stuff, so it should just be implementing for him, and it's like a 5-minute job. I think I've even coded up how to implement it. It's just actually getting it into the systems. So we may see that, but for now, that's a bit much for just me. Just little on me. So if I'd coded all this stuff myself, I probably would know what I'm doing now, but it's not really my system, so I don't really want to stick too many feet in. Yeah. Thank you guys all for watching. Been good, and we'll catch you guys next time. Laters. And also thank you, Amy, for popping by, Philippe, and Nex. Oh, not meeting you, but seeing you again next.